Hello!
Hello!
Grabe, recording in progress ka agad. I'm a new mom of 4 kids. Regardless of the number of kids you have, it's going to be expensive. I felt like we were going back to square one. Iba yung level ng bond with each of them. So, dahil treasure yan from God, alagaan mo yan. Ganyan. It's not yours. Ultimately, ano yung makakapagpasaya sa kanila? And really making a decision, kung gusto mo ng papaluin ko ba to or hindi. But really, yung kanilang disposition is naka-anchor din sa ating sariling disposition. Nakukuha nila yung energy natin. So kung ano yung, paano natin i-frame sa kanila, we have to be very mindful kung paano tayo mag-act in front of them.
Na tayo sa ating You Do You. Lagi ko namang goal lang dito sa aking vlog is syempre nag-iba na yung mga parenting style nung paano tayo pinalaki tsaka yung sa ngayon gusto ko lang pakita na both sides merong magandang nadudulot and sa nakita kong mga nakapaligid sa akin na positive parents like you, Ate Jane, maraming mabibigay na advice?
Well, I'm a working mom, but my work is home-based. So for ilang years already, 8 years, I've been working from home. I'm a new mom of 4 kids. Ayan, new mom of 4 kids. And I'm not very young. I was born the year MTV was invented, ganyan. So, research na lang anong year na-invent yung MTV. Saka nanonood pa ba ng MTV ngayon? Parang wala na, di ba? Puro YouTube na lang yata na pinapanood nila. Ayan, yeah. So, I'm not a very young. I am a new mom, but I'm not, definitely not a young mom.
Wow, so you have 4 kids. Anong mga age nila, Ate Jane?
So my kids are, the eldest is turning 10 in December, so 9 going 10. And then the second one is 8, she just turned 8. The third one is 6 years old. And then our youngest just turned 1-year-old last July.
Yes, nakita ko nga yun sa Facebook natin. Nakapag ano pa kayo, beach, no?
Bago mag-ECQ ulit. That beach trip was planned initially for 2020. So, hindi natuloy yung trip. But of course, we've already made the booking. Ayun, tapos ngayon lang, after a year and a few months, saka namin na gamit yung aming reservation. And then, when we were gonna go to this aming vacation na yun for the first birthday of our youngest, merong bagyo that whole week. Pero sila, I guess, dahil sobrang tagal na rin nilang indoor, so they were really excited to go out. The kids had fun swimming. Parang mas enjoy pa silang nag-swim sa ulan. Ganon. So, all in all, I mean, we were happy. Happy na pinilit nila. So, matuloy yun. Kasi kung ako lang talaga yung mag-decision, I would have canceled it. But because the kids really wanted to go, kaya naging consideration, sige, let's just go for it.
Kamusta naman yung pag meron kang more than 2 kids?
Activity-wise or like expenses-wise?
Expenses-wise muna.
Sige. Expenses-wise, I think naman kahit ilan yung anak mo, like regardless of the number of kids you have, it's going to be expensive. Kasi syempre it's an additional expense. Bukod, you're not just spending for yourself, but you're spending for somebody. And it's like, it's almost like a 2-decade responsibility, di ba? You provide for your child until they're adults, which is around the time they're 18, 20s, ganyan. So, magastos siya kahit isa lang yung anak mo. Kahit marami pa sila, kahit isa lang. And then, how expensive it is, that's gonna be, I think, relative dun sa lifestyle nyo, syempre. And also relative din sa income nyo. Diba? So, yung iba naman kahit na, malaki yung kinikita nila, iisa lang yung anak nila, but the kind of lifestyle that they have is, more costly. So, syempre, mas mahal siya. So, yun, it is definitely expensive to have kids. I think, regardless naman of the period, kahit noon, kahit ngayon, in the future, it's always gonna be expensive to have a child. Pero yun nga, how expensive it is, that's gonna be relative to the income and the lifestyle that you wanna give your child. Isip actually, when we had three, because the first, our three older kids, sila yung magkakalapit ng age, di ba? Parang turning 10, 8, and then 6. So we had 3 kids already. Tapos yung pagitan nung third tsaka nung youngest namin is 5 years. So parang when we had 3 kids and then the youngest at that time was already about 4 or 5 years old, mas maluwag na, mas nakakagalaw ka na. I felt like I was starting to gain my routine back. I was able, parang I'm already able to give more time for myself again because the kids are more independent and really wanting to be more independent. Talagang sometimes they will say na, no, I can do this. You don't help me, mga ganon. So I was nakakapag-exercise na ako, nakakapag-salon na ako.
Walang araw. Mag-downy kontra kulo with 20x anti-back. Amoy parang tinuyo sa araw. Mag-downy kontra kulo.
And then I got pregnant again. So I was very worried na how is this gonna be? And also I'm already so used to having independent kids. And then I felt like we were going back to square one. Na meron ka ulit na alagaan and all ganon. But when I gave birth to our youngest, it's very surprising and also nakakatuwa na makita kasi the older siblings, they were very excited to have a baby. And then when the baby was born, talagang they were very helpful. I didn't have to ask them to help, but they're very eager. Tapos nag-aaway pa sila kung
sino.
Nag-aaway sila like when we were starting to get things for the baby. Pero wala pang cabinet yung baby that time, but we were starting to order clothes, shirts, mga ganyan. Nag-aaway sila kung kaninong cabinet ilalagay yung gamit ng baby. Because they have, each one of them, each of the 3 older kids, they have their own cabinet. So, kanino makikishare? Kanino makikishare ng cabinet yung baby? Nag-aaway sila kung sino. And then when the baby was born, yung pagkuha lang, who's gonna hand the diaper to mommy? Nag-uunahan sila, ganyan. Who's gonna stay with the baby while mommy is taking a bath? Nag-uunahan sila, ganun. So, they've been very helpful. And I also always tell this to them that I'm really very proud of them and I'm very happy na nakakatulong talaga sila. It makes mommy's time, mommy's work with them a lot easier because they're very helpful.
So, nabanggit mo yung activity-wise kanina. Kasi na ako ng another baby. Nabawasan yung time ko. Mga milestones na gusto namin together. Nabawasan siya. So, ngayon na sa 4 kids mo, activity-wise, kamusta ang sharing ng time sa kanila?
So, I think if you're gonna observe your kids, parang they really have that natural tendency to want to be independent. So, I guess, yun nga, para sa parents, you also just encourage that. Of course, within the bounds of safety, diba? Para if they wanna do things on their own, you let them, pero medyo silip-silip ka. Para if something is not, or they're gonna be put in danger, at least maaagapan mo, ganon. And then with nabanggit mo rin na, you're struggling to find activities or to have time to do activities with your firstborn. Yung creativity nila, I mean, if you watch your child, she can come up with so many things. Ganyan diba? I mean, it's fun to do things with them, but it's not always possible to be with them at all times. But if you give them the tools, and also you give them the space to be creative, and of course encourage them also to do things on their own, you'll be surprised to see how creative they could get. I was just telling our yaya kanina, because Sassy a while ago, meron siyang hawak na plastic that she filled with with water.
Mm-mm.
And then, pinanot niya. And then, she said that it was her doll. Ganon. Manika daw, di ba? Parang, ano nagmukhang manika yun? But of course, you encourage it. Sasakyan mo siya sa ganong imagination niya. I was also telling our yaya, when our youngest was born, so this was last year, di ba pag bagong panganak ka, you need to use maternity pads. Ganyan. So I had my maternity pads by my bedside. And then I'm taking care of our baby. And then our third child was with me. I encouraged them naman to be with me when I'm taking care of the baby. Tapos nakita niya yung maternity pads. And then she started to get a pen. Drawingan niya yung maternity pad. And then she got, merong mga nakakalat na, I think, ribbons from food deliveries. Tinape niya dun sa maternity pad. Tapos, sabi niya na, doll daw niya yun. And then, so yun, yung maternity pad, meron na siyang muka, meron na siyang buhok. So then I kept on laughing kasi parang, what? It's a maternity pad, pero naisip niya na gawin yun into, something that she could use, she could play with, ganon. And yeah, that was a time na, with our third kasi, like I said, she's young, she was the youngest for 5 years. So I was really concerned also pagka may bagong baby, paano yun? Kasi ang tagal niyang naging, so magsiselos pa siya, or paano magiging dynamics. Pero,
so in short, medyo may onting, nakaka-feel ka din ba na parang nagigilty ka na hindi na lahat ng time dun sa third?
Not really guilt. It's more on parang sadness. Yeah, not really guilt. Pero like, like when you just, kunwari like, katabi ko siya noon, tapos na-reminisce ko lang na, okay, parang last year when I didn't have a baby yet, we're just always together, magkabigay, doing things together. Pero ngayon, she's asking me to help her, but I couldn't even help her because I'm holding the baby. Pero I just, let her, you could stay there, then you could do your thing, your thing, you could play there beside us. So yun, so she still manages to be creative, and at least she's also still around us.
Yes.
So merong sadness, but I didn't want to dwell on it. Ayokong isipin na naging-guilty ako. Ayokong isipin rin na naapektuhan yung bata. So, I mean, I just explained to her, this is our world right now. I mean, we have a baby to take care of. So, yun.
So, si Bunso ang family's favorite ngayon kasi nilalaro siya ng lahat.
Yes. When we got pregnant with her, of course, like, we didn't really plan on having another child. Kasi nga, nakakuha na ako ng me time ko na, diba? Got pregnant again. But I always tell people, para siyang everybody's silent wish. Tapos iniisip ko rin nga, I mean, right now, I feel like siya yung aming glue. Siya yung aming source of strength and happiness through the pandemic. Kasi meron kaming entertainment ngayon sa loob ng bahay. Yeah, she's everyone's favorite. Everyone's ulam, morning, lahat, kakagat sa kanya, halik sa kanya, lunch, kagat na naman. So, yeah.
Pero, Mommy Jane, speaking of favorite, sa tingin mo, nung as a daughter ka, tingin mo may favorite parents mo?
We are three. So, I'm the eldest. Actually, I have a twin sister. Pero ako yung unang hinugot ng doktor. So, I'm older by 5 minutes. And then, so me, my twin sister, and then I have a brother. Tatlo lang kami. 3 years yung pagitan namin ng twin sister ko tsaka nung brother ko. So, not a very long age gap. Meron bang favoritism yung parents ko noon? No, I never felt na merong isang favorite. Siyempre, merong mga minsang tampo. I think merong times pagka yung isa nabilhan, tapos ikaw hindi, or pinapaghintay ka pa, mga ganon. But, I mean, those are, fleeting tampo eh. So, it's not really like forever kang may grudge dahil merong favorites or no, I don't recall feeling that.
So, ngayon, sa 4 kids mo?
I was also curious how that's gonna be. Lalo na when we had our 4th child, na paano ba yung ganon. Pero so far, tinitignan ko rin sila minsan isa-isa eh. I mean, I think, each one of them are really unique persons. And when they came to my life, parang iba-iba yung kanilang circumstances. So, iba-iba rin yung mga parang bonding levels. Iba yung level ng bond with each of them. like the eldest, syempre panganay yon. Tapos, I really wanted to have a baby boy. Tapos yung eldest namin lalaki. So, syempre, iba rin yung bond ng mom tsaka nung eldest, di ba? So, he's very special. Tapos, yung second child naman namin, I was still praying for a second baby boy, pero girl siya. Ganon. So, initially, I was questioning that. Pero as she was growing, doon ko na-feel yung, it's so nice to have a daughter. Ganon. And that's when I understood that, okay, God gave me a baby girl because He didn't want me to miss out on the joy of having a daughter.
A girl, yes.
Ganon. So, kaya that's how special she is. And I always tell her that, she knows na, she knows na gusto ko boy. But she was given to us for a reason, and the joy that she brought to us is really ibang level. So she understands that. And then with our third child naman, when yung unang ultrasound ko sa kanya, merong parang condition na nakita sa kanya, her skin was swelling. So the doctor said, we have to observe this. Pagka nagkaroon pa ng isa pang body organ niya na nag-swell, it's most likely hydrops. So that hydrops is a condition. She got over it. Naging healthy na siya nung pregnancy. And then when I was gonna give birth to her, yung epidural ko, it didn't work so quickly. So instead of basically parang instead of yung anesthetize ka throughout, merong parts ng body ko na na-spare. So I really felt a lot of pain. I mean, of course, it's not like the full labor pain kasi may anesthesia pa rin kahit paano. But the pain in that small part of my body was just really kakaiba, ibang level, ganon. And my husband was with me when I was giving birth. Tapos sabi niya talaga, nag-iiba na rin yung color ng face ko sa parang. It was a difficult birth. Kaya nung pinanganak siya, I mean, yun rin iba rin kasi okay, you almost lost her, but she's there and she's healthy, she's beautiful, ganon. So, iba rin And then, she's also our happiest baby. She's a very, like, jolly little girl. Kaya, iba rin level din And then, with the youngest one, syempre, pandemic namin. Because it was the pandemic, my husband wasn't allowed to be with me. The whole evening, when I was wheeled into the room with my baby, it was just me and my baby. So, iba rin yung naging bonding nun. Ayun. So, iba. They have their, of course, unique selves and also the kind of experiences that we went through together. Iba-iba. So, hindi ko ma-compare kung sino bang mas favorite mo sa kanila kasi they bring different things to the family.
Tatak sa isip ko yung level of bondness. Wala rin akong mafe-feel na yung favoritism kasi naririnig lang yan sa mga teleserye.
Oo, totoo.
Pero ngayon, kamusta naman ang me time ng meron ng kasamang 4 kids?
Meron pa rin naman. But to begin with, dahil pandemic ngayon, it's very hard to have your me time kasi, everyone is with you at home. Diba? Well, we have house help. Meron kaming house help, meron kaming yaya, and they, of course, that's very convenient for me. I can go out if I want to, when I want to, I could go out. Basta I just need to coordinate it with my husband's schedule, of course. Kasi even if we have house help and nannies, me and my husband talagang napag-usapan namin na, we avoid leaving the kids alone with the nanny. So at least one of us has to be here. So if I wanna go out just by myself, I just need to coordinate the schedule with my husband and of course let the yayas know. Pero yun, I mean, that being said, I could choose to have me time, how long I want to have me time, but sa circumstances ngayon, syempre, ayoko rin namang lumapas. So basically, ang me time ko, it's like when the kids are asleep, I have my own time. I can read the news, manood ng YouTube, or magbasa by myself, ganyan. Or because the 3 older kids, mas nakakaintindi na rin sila. So if I want some time for myself, I could tell them na, can you go to the other room first because mommy wants to be alone. Mommy wants some quiet, ganyan. Naiintindihan na ng 3 older kids yung ganon. Sa kanila, well, I always tell them, and this is something that I got from yung homily nung priest na nagkasal sa amin, nung wedding day namin. So sinabi niya dun sa homily, children are treasures from God. So, dahil treasure yan from God, alagaan mo yan. Ganyan. It's not yours. Yan. It's not yours. It's not yours. They're not yours. But because they are treasure, they are a gift from God, you take care of them. Ganyan. So, me, I always tell them that because I want them to know and realize sa sarili nila, always believe how special they are. Because I think that, if they know that they are special in the eyes of their family, in the eyes of God, pagkakaroon sila ng self-confidence or yung belief sa sarili nila. And I think that is very important to get them places. If you believe in yourself, then, you're not afraid to try things. If you believe in yourself, you're not afraid to express yourself, or you will not be so much worried about
ano yung
standing up for your belief. Yeah, because you know that you're special and you were created with a purpose. So that's what I always tell them, and that they are gifts from God. So dahil regardless they're from God, they have their innate talents.
Yes.
Which is also, kumbaga parang pabaon sa kanila yun ni Lord. Nung binigay sila talent, mayroon pa ba ang mga talents sa'yo? So, they have to use their talent and they have to share it. Not be afraid to share it with people. So, gusto ko lang na ma-explore nila yon, and for them to be generous about sharing what they know. Ganon. And I always tell them, when you, with a group or when you grow up and you start to work with others, you make sure that when you get into the room, come inside the room, people are happy that you're there and that you're gonna bring something to the table. And you can do that. Why? Because you have your talent, you have your God-given talent. So yun yung purpose mo, may binigay sa'yo, nilagay ka sa ganung sitwasyon, so make use of what you have para makatulong sa grupo, and then they will be happy.
Pero sila sa'yo, bilang, how many years ka nang nagiging mommy? Almost 10. Siyempre, ang parenting, parang nag-grow ka din dyan. So, anong natutunan mo sa kanila?
I think yung natutunan ko is, taking one day at a time, planning ahead, but also slowing down and taking one day at a time. Kasi like me, I do like to plan ahead. My husband na minsan sabihin na parang sobrang bilis mag-isip na parang so I like to plan ahead and come up with scenarios and like what I want to do pagka dumating na yung ganong scenario. Like, kunwari, pag may baby ka o baby pa lang siya, naisip ko na, actually pregnant pala ako, naisip ko na yung baptism niya. Pagkapanak pa lang niya, parang naisip ko na parang, okay, paano pagka nag-first birthday siya, anong gagawin? Ganon, sa siya mag-aaral, ano yung mga activities niya, ganon. So I like to think about those things. But what I realized with having kids, I mean, it's good to have that because it's good to have your, parang yung plano, yung long-term plan mo. Pero how things are gonna turn out, kailangan mabilis ka rin mag-adjust, what you want. Hindi siya pwedeng, it's not always that you're gonna get what you want. So, for example, medyo mababaw lang, pero party, you have this kind of theme in mind, these kinds of activities in mind for your baby na sobrang excited ka sa sarili mo as a mom. But, if you ask your kid what she likes or kung ano yung mga gusto niyang activities na gawin, it's not always what nakapareho kung ano yung gusto mo. And kailangan mo magbigay, mag-adjust. Ganon. Kasi, una-una, kayo na bang birthday yun? And kahit na nasa isip mo na mas maganda yung nasa isip mo, parang ultimately, ano yung makakapagpasaya sa kanya? Parang mas maganda na makikita mo yung genuine smile sa mata niya, yung sparkle sa mata niya, talagang masaya siya dun sa nangyari sa birthday. So yun, yung mga ganon. A lot of other things na didn't turn out according to how I planned them. So, natutunan ko kung paano tanggapin yon. And then, ayun nga, especially now with 4 kids, yung attention ko rin, di ba? Divided sa kanilang 4. So, kailangan din yon one day at a time. When my 4th baby was born, we didn't have a yaya for like maybe 3-4 months. So, it was really just me, the kids, my husband. So, pagka wala sa house yung husband ko, me and the kids. So, it's really like every half hour at a time pa nga anong mangyayari? Okay, natapos na yan. Thank you, natapos na yan. What's next? Ganon. So, yun, doing that, and I think being conscientious also, having a child teaches you to watch yourselves and to rewire yourself kasi the environment that we grew up in, it's very different, diba? Kunwari, sa parenting pa lang tayo, diba? Pinalaki, palo, ganyan.
Upo.
Sisigawan ka, gano'n. Pero hindi pwede yung gano'n. Hindi na pwede yung gano'n sa kanila. Positive parenting na tayo. Tapos pag nag-aaral tayo nun, like, kulong ka talaga sa kwarto, aral, ganyan. Ngayon, what I realized, hindi na pwede kasi yun sa kanila. So, like, I have to adjust na, okay, 1 hour, pagod na siya, gusto niyang maglaro, paglalaroin mo muna, gano'n. So, I mean, it's not easy na mag-change ng mindset na gano'n. And to do it consistently. Yung doing it consistently, yun yung struggle Kasi dahil nga iba yung kinalakihan natin, yung tendency talaga natin, subconsciously pa, is to revert to what we know or how we were brought up. So, yung tutunan ko sa kanila is, catching ourselves at that moment and really making a decision. Kung gusto mo ng papaluin ko ba to or hindi. So, yun, I guess, evolution. Pag-evolve pag-evolve parenting, but it's also like pag-evolve ng sarili natin, ng mga pananaw natin, keeping up with the times. Ganon. And I think it's good. I mean, sometimes when I reflect on it, I think it's beautiful kasi it I feel like it also keeps me thinking young. Para nakakabagyan ko kasi syempre, iba na yung time sila. Tapos kung nakakasabay ka dun sa mga nangyayari, it's quite refreshing, which makes you feel na parang nakakabata na, at masaya na, meron kang change of mindset na ganon.
This is my little grasshopper. It's not just little, but it's really big. Here it is.
Oh, there it is. Where'd you get that from?
I got it outside.
How did you get it? Ay, nako, Sassy.
It's okay.
The grasshopper might jump to mommy.
It's okay. It
Okay. Na according na dun sa times ngayon.
Speaking of time, Mommy Jane, etong time ng pandemic, ako personally, na-aapektuhan na ako na, gosh, ano ba, pataas ng pataas, everyday cases dito sa atin, tapos yung way ng pagbakuna sa mga tao. Ikaw, as their mom, itong pandemic, paano mo na-explain sa kanila ng way mo?
How the pandemic affects me, I've stopped watching the news. I've stopped reading headlines about it. Ganon. I mean, of course, from time to time, I would read of kung ano nangyari, ganyan. Pero last year, syempre, dahil bago yung pandemic, talagang every night, you would watch the news, what's going on. Hanggang sa parang, paulit-ulit na lang, wala namang nangyayari. And then lately pa yung response ng government natin, diba? So parang I just stopped watching it, ganyan. How I teach yung pandemic, yung situation natin sa kids, I think my kids are quite lucky. Kasi ang kanilang mama ay merong scientific background. Graduate ito ng molecular biology and biotechnology. Ganun. So, I mean, yung mga ganyang virus, diseases, that was my life in college. So, and of course, ganyan din yung linya ng trabaho ko ngayon. Clinical trials, ganyan. I've been doing clinical trials for 17 years or so, ganon. Tapos, syempre, like, dati parang tatanungin yung mga tao, anong trabaho mo? It's so hard for me to explain. Paano kayo papaliwanag? I do clinical research. They are, what? Pero ngayon, syempre, di ba, lahat ng tao parang alam na kung ano yung clinical trials, ganon. So anyway, because I do have yung ganong scientific background and that kind of understanding ng mga scientific jargon, natuturo ko sa mga bata, like when the pandemic first started to happen, talagang I piniliwanag ko kung ano yung virus, kung ano yung mga sakit, yung paano nahahawa-hawa yung mga sakit, yung mga ganyan. Pinaliwanag ko sa kanila na parang kwento. I think na dahil meron akong scientific background, mas madali sa akin na i-translate sa yung mga scientific jargon into everyday
term.
So, mas nag-get sila. And then, we would watch documentaries together. So, sa Netflix, meron diyang documentaries about pandemic. We watched it together. Siyempre, pa-pause-pause ka kasi translate ko na naman sa kanila kung ano yung sinasabi. Diba? But in YouTube also, marami na rin mga kid-friendly mga videos or channels na nakakapagpaliwanag naman sa mga bata what's going on. And then in their school din, meron din mga parang books for kids that explains the pandemic, ganon. So, yun. So they were very aware of yung pandemic, yung infection, mga ganyan, and why we have to protect ourselves. But of course, being indoors for a long time, they miss going out, they miss their friends. And oftentimes they will complain, I wish the pandemic never happened, ganyan. So, yun, we tell them na, I tell them na, everyone is going through the same thing. Nobody wanted this to last this long. We have friends and family who live in other countries. So I think nakakatulong din yon kasi pagka nag-video call o kaya nagsasend ng mga videos or pictures or kung titignan mo yung social media ng mga kamag-anak or kaibigan from other countries, makikita mo yung mga activities na ginagawa nila. So my kids, nakikita nila, naka-lockdown din yung pinsan nila.
No, hindi lang sila.
Naka-mask din, gano'n. So, yun, that helps to give them the perspective na lahat tayo are going through this and lahat tayo kailangan mag-ingat. So, ayun, gano'n.
Alam mo, Ate Jane, sa mga lahat na nasabi mo, dito pumapasok yung, familiar ka ba sa sana all? Sana all kaya explain. Pero sana all, dumami pa ang parents and mommies na tulad mo, Ate Jane. Anong message mo kay nila? Babies mo. Babies mo sila forever. No, may ganung feeling, Ate, no?
Actually, oo. I think my message to them is also like what I said a while ago, na, they are treasures from God. And we want them to grow up prayerful, and we want them to be able to really utilize their God-given talents, and be useful to the people around them. So yun din naman yung parating sinasabi sa kanila ng kanilang dad, na you have to be helpful to others, you have to help others. Kasi my husband, volunteer din siya ng Red Cross for the longest time. So yun, meron siyang heart ng volunteer, kaya yun din naman yung tinuturo niya sa aming mga kids. Yun, so that's what we tell them, and then dito sa pandemic, we just tell them, just be patient, and let's pray that, not only Philippines, but globally, will get over this pandemic.
Travel around the world, what would you like to see when you travel around the world? What would you like to see when you travel around the world? Marine life, nature, chi-chi, people, travel around the world, travel around the world, travel, 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 travel around the world.
Thank you, Mommy Jane, sa pag-share nito. Message mo sa ating mga viewers ngayong pandemic as a mommy.
As a mom, I guess of course our kids are always looking upon us, yung kanilang disposition sa buhay, kahit naman hindi pandemic but really yung kanilang disposition is naka-anchor din sa ating sariling disposition. So we have to take care of ourselves even more this pandemic. They always say hindi lang physically but also mentally, and that is really very true, because we're not just doing this for ourselves, but also for our family, and because these kids are watching us, nakukuha nila yung energy natin. So kung ano yung paano natin i-frame sa kanila yung global problem na to, paano natin tuturo sa kanila kung ano yung mga dapat gawin, we have to be very mindful kung paano tayo mag-act in front of them, and to really try na to be positive amidst all this. I mean, I guess for the moms, alam ko because of cabin fever, lahat hindi tayo nakikita and all that, I guess to be open to reach out to friends, to family, ganon. Parang nabasa ko nga, meron akong nakitang meme ba yon na sabi na meron pa bang nagte-text ngayon or yung bang text inbox nyo, ang laman na lang ma'am, grab po, delivery po, ganyan, di ba? So, and yun, so naisip ko rin na parang, parents who are going through this, moms, don't be shy, or wag na kayong mag-second thought if you think that you wanna talk to your barkada, your friend, mga kukumare or what. Just reach out to them. And then, para naman sa mga, if somebody reached out to you, let's be open, less judgmental. Yun, bigyan natin ng panahon. Lahat naman tayo nasa bahay nila. I'm sure we could spare even a few minutes para sa ating mga co-mommies or sa ating mga kaibigan, kamag-anak who just want somebody to talk to at that moment.
Yay! Thank you so much!